All right, let's dive into this discussion of Wonka.
Enamored Reviews.
First, being that it is a Wonka film, it needs to appeal to the youth. What did you think about it, man?
About the chocolate.
The chocolate?
When it makes them fly in the sky. Yeah, it was some crazy chocolate in there, wasn't it?
Yeah, so of course this is a Wonka film. They had all of your crazy chocolates, your crazy candies, man. And I'll say this about Wonka candy. Being that he's a chocolatier, it always comes off. Chocolate is his least recognizable form of candy, or when you think about it, right? Chocolate has never been. I know Chocolate is the movie, right? Chocolate bar, the golden ticket, and all that in the Wonka film, the original. But where are all the chocolate candies? Most of the good stuff is the ones that turn you into. You got hair sprouting out of your head. What was that? It was something like that he had his version or whatever.
Or your hair is changing a weird color. Your
weird
skin
color.
is now green.
Exactly, man.
And double hum.
Double who?
Double hum.
I don't know what that is, but whatever candy the double hum is.
That double hum was in the movie.
Okay, and
Look
so
for the double hum in the movie.
So I will definitely say that I found the film to be in the spirit, I guess, in the spirit of Wonka. I mean, like the original film with Gene Wilder.
Right.
I did find it to be in the spirit, but it seemed as if it was in some way, way, way early spirit before the spirit was really there, right? And I guess if you really think about it, this was a movie detailing the life of a young Wonka.
Right.
Or a young Willow, like you said, a Willie who hasn't quite become Wonka yet, right?
Definitely.
So it was definitely in that vein. And when you think about it, maybe that's where it was supposed to be, right?
Right.
You had hints, but it wasn't quite there. And that was the thing that I found to be, I'm not going to say disturbing. I'm going to say that was the thing that I found not to be that great about Timothée Chalamet's
It's supposed to be Timothée.
character of Wonka. It seemed as if his version of Wonka that he portrayed didn't quite get all the quirks right. He did very well. I would definitely say that Timothée did very well. However, he didn't quite nail it. Right? And I know that you different on that. How did you feel that he did?
Right, because I felt like, being that this is the younger version of him, he still had time to come into himself. He hadn't really had that time to develop into that. So I didn't expect it to be so, like you said, you wanted the head movements to be the kind of the same. And
like
I didn't expect it to be more so like dead on, because things develop naturally. Things develop over time. So being that he didn't nail all of the gene, all the things that he encompassed in the original, it didn't make you feel like he was any less Willie.
I guess I can see where you're going with that. I reiterate, I definitely think that he brought a version of Wonka that is going to be a classic.
Right.
I think that I truly believe that this Wonka film is a holiday classic, just a classic in general. I know it comes out around Christmas, but people will definitely be viewing this around Christmas. But I wouldn't say it's a Christmas film per se.
Right.
But I think that it is definitely a classic. To me, it was close to the original, and I know a lot of people are going to disagree with that, but I found it to be kind of close to the original. The song choices were not the best. However, there are about 2 or 3 songs that were really, really the one with the scrub. You remember that?
I do.
Scrub was this is where they're in the they're pretty much indentured servants, and they're cleaning up the laundry or whatever, and so they're kind of singing it out as they're doing it, and that particular scene and that song was it was very good to me. I like that one. There's a lot that I didn't care for. There's a lot of songs that I didn't care for. I liked the one when they were in the zoo. And he was rhyming noodle. What rhymes with noodle? And he said, that does rhyme with noodle. Good job. Noodle, apple, strudel. I can't remember quite how it goes, but anyway, he did that pretty darn good. And not to be a singer, I don't think that he has a singing background.
Right.
But not to be a singer, he gives a voice that is.
But Wonka wasn't really a singing. Yes, you had the Oompa Loompa song. Isn't just, oh my gosh, you just have to have great vocal abilities to do it.
Right. That's true.
But for this to be in a sense, a musical, it was actually an entertaining musical. Because there are some musicals where, oh my gosh, it's just all, straight singing and the ballads don't always hit, but their ballads, like you said, I won't say they were just spectacular, but however, they fit the storyline really well. The transition into it was put on nicely. So for it to be a musical, I'd say I really enjoyed it.
I did as well, and as you all know, we are not fans of musicals.
Not at all.
Not at all. We're just not musical fans. There are a few that stand out. Sound of Music being one. I say that every time I mention musicals. There are a few choice ones that stand out, but this is a musical that I can definitely watch again. I could definitely watch it again. I'm not saying that it was spectacular by any means. I'm just simply saying it was a solid film, and I could definitely see myself watching it again. We had an interesting character come into this film. It was, what is my boy's name? Key and Peele. Michael Keegan.
Oh.
Right.
Yes, he was like the sheriff deputy.
Right, constable. I think something of that nature, right? Hilarious.
Yes.
Guy was funny. He's a funny guy anyway, right?
Yes, he is.
And this was really, really funny, man. I have to say I enjoyed his character, and the way that they played off of eating. He had a sweet tooth, chocolate, and he just kept getting fatter and
by
fatter
the end of the movie,
and fatter.
It was horrible.
I mean, he started off our son's size and ended up my size. I mean, on 10.
Right.
And it was funny, man. I know a lot of people will say it was over the top, but I found it to be cute. Right. I found it to be funny. I found it to be quite wholesome. I didn't find any underlying themes that most families wouldn't want to share with their children. I found this to be a straightforward, good, wholesome film, man, and I have to appreciate it. The two villains, I actually enjoyed them as well. Oh, they were funny. They were funny. Yes. The shop. I'm forgetting their names, and I apologize. The shopkeeper, the hotel owners, right? They weren't husband and wife.
They were not.
They were just partners, but they had this intimate relationship that budded up because Noodle, the young black girl, she and what's your boy's name? Wonka. Thank you. She and Wonka came together to formulate this plan, and they had him being some kind of aristocrat. How do you say that word? Aristocrat. They had him trying to play some kind of aristocrat to get her attention, and that again was a wholesome, funny thing, man. He comes in with these 3-inch above the knee shorts.
Yes.
With
the leg up.
With the leg up. And I'm talking about looking like a straight grizzly bear with jacked up teeth like he been chewing on bark. And he goes, it was so good to me, man.
Yes.
I really enjoyed it.
I liked because in the original Wonka, I have never been a fan of the Oompa Loompas, even though I know that like they really make and capture the movie. Mm-hmm. There's just something about them that I just don't like. I like the subtle appearance of the Oompa Loompa that came into play. He was comical as well.
Right. And I think this was Hugh Grant playing this Oompa Loompa, right? And it was really just one Oompa Loompa. And they gave, and the fact that they gave him voice, they gave him real character. It was awesome, man.
Right. And it kind of gave the backstory as to how the Oompa Loompas got introduced in as well. Into
Wonka, right. His little world, So he really goes and steals cocoa beans. Yeah. And I don't think that he said, all you had was 4? You know what I'm saying? Like, he just took a little bit, and it was like, and then, oh man, I enjoyed it. And he's trying to get repaid in chocolate. And he actually, I think he grew fond of Wonka. Because he helped him, and I think it was more, he tries to claim like it was just, I needed my payment. But I think it was definitely more to it. I think he actually grew fond of the boy. And I would like to see another film. I would like to see a sequel to this film. Because I want to see, now you have to grow. Now you have to grow your empire, so to speak. Right. How did you get from where we see in this film, this Wonka? We need to have another film that shows the maturity of him. Because how did he become? Because this Wonka, you have to realize, how did this Wonka, who was so lovable, who was so innocent, who was so, this and that, how did this Wonka become the Wonka that we know, that is willing to let kids get sucked up in pipes? You get what I'm saying? It seemed like he was not mean-spirited, the Wonka that we're familiar with. He wasn't mean-spirited, but he was more so like, whatever. Right. That's not the Wonka that's in this film.
Right.
So what happened in between that?
Right.
That.
Then and there.
Yeah. Right. That's what. So I feel like they need to figure something out, bring something in.
And they actually might. I think this was more so a test to see how people would react to this version of Wonka.
Right.
So I would be up to.
I definitely
seeing
would
another Wonka film.
But I'm sorry. I was just gonna say, I feel like, because this story, we actually got a real story. We didn't get that before, right?
Right.
We kind of, with Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, I think we kind of dived into a little bit of Charlie and all that, right? Just a tad bit. We kind of dived into a little bit of that, but with this version of Wonka, we got a more heartfelt story between he and his mother.
Right.
Right. It became an actual story. The intricacies of Noodle. It became an actual storyline that makes sense.
Right. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see y'all later.
And notification.